Hello, a chitty chat video about what I hauled during Black Friday. Everything has arrived now, and it's a spoiler of what is coming to my channel, what I will discuss in the near future. First of all, Westman Atelier. You know that I was in the market for compact face powders and I decided to go for Westman Atelier. I wanted to try this powder because everybody was raving about it. I wanted a compact powder that was undetectable. I'm very picky when it comes to powders. I see glitters where everybody do not see them. I see texture when everybody sees this is smooth. So I'm very picky when it comes to base products and powders in general. But I have modified my skincare regime. I try to be good and incorporate SPF every day. And the problem with SPF is that they are glowy. All sun protections tend to be glowy, oily, greasy, and if they are matte, then they become very heavy. So it's difficult to find the perfect SPF, but I wanted a powder to set to control that shine that comes from the SPF. I purchased two powders and I wanted to show you how they are presented. So this is in the shade Creme, and you will see now that it developed art pen. This is common with compact powders because the oil, that is the grease of the SPF, goes unavoidably on the pen and it develops art pen. This is not true with loose powders. So my conclusion is that for setting SPF, still the loose powder is the best way to go. I will show a trick that is using tape and cutting a piece of tape. Place the tape on the pen where you developed art pen and you can, remove that art pen, and then you will get this layer, this film on the tape, and I will do it better later on. So it's not a problem. I will remove this art pen, but I know that I will not use again this powder this way just to set my SPF. Other than that, this is very nice powder, is truly undetectable, and maybe it's for that reason that I went to the powder multiple times. Now you see I can get the product back. I will finish to clean up the pen, but anyway, I have dryness on my skin. So this Creme powder is nice because it doesn't do, that white cast effect. I wanted a colored powder. It blends on the skin. My skin is dry, so I don't see the blurring effect. There is, but a little bit, but the blurring effect is more due to the mattifying effect. When something is not shiny, of course you don't see pores anymore. Pores are minimized also because they are not highlighted by the shine. The powder is presented this way. You have the pink packaging and you get also a sachet. Inside you get the powder. I picked not only the Creme color, it is a nice skin tone color, but also the pink bubble. To be honest, I was waiting for refills. It would have been a better, more conscious choice to just pick one case and then the refill, but still the refill are not available for purchase. I think you can detect the difference in color here. My gosh, I have such a dry skin on my hands. Yeah, so the effect is that the pink bubble here is a whitish powder. I don't think you can detect the pinkish color, while the Creme powder is beige. It can be undetectable. Now you can see that because it's a heavy swatch. But yeah, I will update you in the future. So if you want to know more from the point of view of a busy woman that wants something that quickly delivers, subscribe to my channel and you will be updated with my thoughts about this and other purchases. I buy everything by myself. This was my Sephora order. And why did I pick this palette? Because I watched it at Sephora and yeah, I fell in love. And the reason is that I'm fond of these baked shades. I'm aware that I will only use these two, but this is an amazing pink, cool toned and fresh, and this is a great peach. I fell in love when I saw these two shades performing on the skin. The finish on the skin is very smooth and silky. Is yeah, impalpable. It's just so silky smooth. I have very dry skin, but it really blends with the skin. It's amazing. The finish is amazing. It's much lighter than the standard Pat McGrath blushes. So this is my favorite finish for Pat McGrath, and these are my favorite blushes, I can tell, from Pat McGrath. So then you have this, that is the first time I was watching it. I have no use for it, honestly. This is a shade that is not for me. And the reason is I have redness and couperose on my skin. And this is actually the color of my blood. If I use this kind of color with plumish hue, it emphasizes my redness on my face, and I don't want that. And therefore, this I don't see usage for it. Maybe I will depot it and give to my mother that has an olive skin tone and she may enjoy it. And I won't have usage for it either because for this earth shape pen, but maybe this I can use it as eyeshadow because it's glittery. Hopefully you will notice that. You see the shimmer, the chunky shimmer particles. So this is not elegant at all, but it makes sense for the eyes. No way I'm putting this on my face. These are unique in my collection because I would say the thing that is comparable, it may be Suku or Surat blushes. Those Suku and Surat have the same silkiness. I'm talking about the old Suku, and for old I mean the gradient blushes, because the latest blushes have more creaminess, so they are slightly heavier in texture and give that creaminess, while this is really feather-like silkiness. It's a different experience with them. But it's my favorite finish. It's lightweight, it is so compatible with the dry skin. I have flaky skin on my hands, and you can tell that this is not emphasizing that dry texture of my hands. It's amazing. It's really a veil of color like watercolor. But the difference compared to Surat and Suku is that these are even more pigmented. And sometimes in the morning, I just want a punch of color and blend the color instead of building up. That can take time. So these are perfect for that. And these are two amazing colors. So yeah, pretty satisfied by this purchase. Okay, I will tell you later on about this. I won't open now because I have so many SPFs that are opened. So I will finish a bunch of those and then I will start with this. I will report back on this one. And finally, we have Luisa Via Roma. From Luisa Via Roma, that is an Italian luxury retailer, I decided to purchase two things related to beauty. I placed an order at Luisa Via Roma because of an item that was not beauty related and was a gift for my boyfriend. But since Luisa Via Roma has also a beauty section, I discovered that there was this Velours Kaki by Tom Ford and discounted at 20% off, and yeah, I wanted to try it. Now they are putting the TF on over the palettes. I think is yeah, I don't like logos. I find they are tacky. But anyway, this is the way they are doing the palettes now. And this is the palette. I haven't touched yet. I decided to skip this palette for different reasons. First of all, you don't see a lot of contrast. This palette is quite dark. There are 3 dark colors and 1 shade that is, as you can tell, darker for my skin tone. But it can be a crease shade for me. But it was very orangey. And then you have this color that is mid-tone and 2 greens that are quite similar to each other. So yeah, and the other thing is that this color, I've seen it worn by different people, and I think it emphasizes the texture. So I've touched it. You have it here. It's a unique shade of olive. I have such a dry skin on my hand now. I need to put a cream. And because of that, I expected the eyeshadow to emphasize a bit of dryness. Maybe it does. But yeah, I cannot tell right now. But I've seen a lot of lines on people that use this. And for that reason, I decided to skip it. But since I didn't have to overpay for Tom Ford as I usually do, and on top of that I found a discount, I said, okay, these cream shadows are, yeah, they're very silicone-y, therefore I hope that they will be smoothing. It's a pleasure to swatch them, but I will wait until I see how they perform on the eyes, because I prefer more powdery finish, because it blends easier than this kind of cream that stick over there on the skin. This is quite, yeah, it's dark for my skin, but yeah, it's better than I had anticipated. And then the last one is a more emerald green. So these have a lot of gray in it, so they are muted of greens. These are too similar to be used together. You won't notice a difference. And I prefer this one that is more green than this one that once swatched turns into a olivey taupe. But it can have a, you know, can be meaningful. I like this trio as well. So either 1, 2, and 3 or 1, 2, and 3. And I'm curious to know how long these eyeshadow will last and if they will develop art pen, as I've heard. I will update you in the future about this palette. I didn't have a lot of, you know, desires in terms of makeup, and the reason is I stick to my mindset that is the best of the best mindset. This for this palette there was a reason for purchasing it, because it was a new formula that I had not tried yet. So it made sense to try the formula. This is another innovative formula, the Westman Atelier one. This is another great formula, one of the best in the market. But as you can tell, I'm focusing more on the formulas rather than the colors themselves. And then of course, with a new formula, you can pick the color that suits you the most, you are more comfortable wearing it. I believe that when something is perfected, that required a lot of time to develop, then it is not, you know, fair to switch to the next new thing like it was, you know, fast fashion. These are not fast fashion things. They deserve to be enjoyed, and sometimes they deserve to be preferred over new things. So I strongly believe that the new is not the best, and that we have already in our collection things that have a perfect formula for us, for our needs, for our skin type, skin condition, that should be recognized. It should be used and enjoyed, rather than, you know, buy new things and forget about the old ones. This is my mindset, and I call this channel Best of the Best Mindset. because of that. My goal is to only have the best on the market and avoid to buy all the new things because I already have the best. And occasionally you can buy a few things, and for sure the Black Friday deals are a good time to indulge into a few new purchases. I picked this set. Many people try the usual things, that is the creams. I'm fond of the rich cream and I wanted to purchase. I tried multiple samples of that, and it's one of my favorite creams because it's rich and leaves my skin supple and plumped, and I wanted a bigger size. So the set contains the rich cream, the serum, then the eye cream, and the lip balm. It's not magnetic, you have to, press it to close it, but very luxurious, bougie packaging. The packaging of the serum has this core that is, the refill. This is actually a refill for the complete packaging that has also a glass bottle that you put this one inside. So I like that it was only the refill without that unnecessary packaging. And you can tell, okay, this doesn't, stand, but I can put it in a glass myself. What I like from this is that it has this shell. It's an amazing packaging. It has, okay, you do a twist to lock it. You can open it, and it has a pump, and it has very nice, this is an airless pump, and it has this shell that is very useful because it protects the serum from the light. This is a 30 ml serum. I'm very curious to try it. I would like to try it in the new year. So in January, I will start trying the full regime, and I will let you know. I'm not new to Augustinus butter. I have a full size of face oil. I've tried the rich cream, as I said. I tried here and there samples, and I enjoyed them. The problem with Augustinus butter is that you are paying for the name and for the advertising. I've seen it everywhere now. Also, the eye cream has a glass packaging that is not included here, and here you only have, the juice, only the cream itself. I will use a glass to collect these and keep them protected from the light. The pump packaging is the most hygienic one, the most sanitary one. So I really appreciate that. And then you have your lip balm that is quite heavy, very luxe. So yeah, let me check this. This is a normal balm. Yeah, so very excited about this. I have high expectations about this. I know already the rich cream, so it's my favorite cream. So because of that, this was a steal I couldn't miss. Although I have a lot of skincare and I promised myself not to buy it, but this was too good to let it go, And another thing is, when you have these kits, this is the winter recovery kit. And when you have these kits, you know that these are fresh because these are kits that are made for the holidays. When it comes to permanent products, then you are sure that these are new batches. Okay, so that was it. So very, thoughtful purchasing process. These were not impulse buy, and it's something that I would recommend. Anyway, when something is released, I put it in a wish list, and then if something stays in the wish list, I become more conscious about the purchases. I would say that this is the only impulse purchase I did because I needed to reach a certain money. But if you spend something more on skincare, you're gonna use it. Let me know in the comments what you picked with the Black Friday. What are your picks? If you are happy with your purchases, if you overspent. I'm curious to know your thoughts and your insights. So let's catch up in the comments and see you in next video. Bye.